But moving to corporate conversations, then Lupin, after reporting their fourth quarter numbers where revenue grew 12%, EBITDA also rose 22.5% from last year. Our colleague Ekta spoke to the management of Lupin and began by asking them about the company losing the patent case on Mybetriq generic and how it plans to move forward from it. Listen.
Yeah, so I'd say that there was an interim decision. We don't consider the decision as final because the trial is in February of 26. And we're preparing for it. And, the decision was on a particular defense, while Lupin has multiple defenses on the multiple patents that Astellas has tried to enforce on the product. The product is a significant contributor. It has been a significant contributor during fiscal year 25 and will continue in fiscal year 26. And we will, defend ourselves on a very strong basis in the upcoming trial in February and beyond. Once a decision is final, we'll also appeal if need be.
All right. Well, you just launched tolvaptan generic in the US markets. Tell us how much of an opportunity it is for Lupin. Estimates are around $150 million per annum is what it could rake up. And as well as X-Way generic, which you have exclusivity on as well.
We just launched the product earlier this week, tolvaptan, and it was a very unique launch for us, given that it's a specialty REMS program, establishing relationship with all of the specialty distributors. Our team did a terrific job with that, but it meant a little bit of work up front in trying to get the specialty distributors on board. We believe that the product will be a significant contributor. I will refrain from any number guidance, but it should be a material product for us based on the partnerships we've established, as well as the product supply that we have in place. Really excited about starting the year with this product launch.
All right. How much do you think you can do in the US on a quarterly basis? You did $245 million this quarter. What can we expect in the next couple of quarters?
Yeah, I'd say this is a new base for us, given the price erosion on the older products, but continued ramp up of products like Spiriva and others. We also had rivaroxaban as well as Predfort that continue to be strong contributors in terms of new product launches, apart from our existing portfolio. And the tolvaptan now in the market, as well as injectables launching second half of the year, we believe that $250 million per quarter should be the new base.
All right. Ramesh, guidance on margins was 22 to 23%. When do you get there on a sustainable basis?
I think from our perspective, we've done pretty well. The momentum that we had set several quarters ago just continues. And if you look at the current quarter's margin, 23.2%, this is after taking into account a much higher R&D spend, close to about 100 crores, and in fact, a much lower PLI. From our perspective, if you were to add that, we are looking at least another 2.8 percentage points. 26% would have been the rate. And of course, if you look at, in fact, the losses made by adjacencies, which have been, which are newly set up, digital diagnostics, then you could also include the CDMO business and the like. All of this, if you were to take into account, it'd be another 4 percentage points, so to speak. But that said, this journey is continuous. We still, the R&D spend would be of the same level in the quarters to come as well. Because we are spending a lot on more complex stuff. There's a lot of initiatives in terms of containing the costs as well, and that's pretty evident. The buoyancy on the top line, of course, contributes, but there's, of course, a lot of things happening on various lines, alternate vendor development and the like as well, which has contributed to gross margins. So from our perspective, it is a continuous journey, and we remain optimistic about continuously improving it over quarters.
All right. Is there any opportunity from weight loss drugs, say, such as liraglutide? And are you looking to launch semaglutide when it goes off patent in emerging markets in Canada?
Yeah, so I can speak about India, and then Vinita can add for other geographies. In India, like we said, metabolic disorders is going to be a big play. It is a big play where we're depending on the time, either the number 3 or the number 2 company in that space. I think weight loss clearly is a category as well, both with liraglutide, but also importantly with semaglutide and eventually with products like Mounjaro. We do hope to be in the first wave of generics, sometime next year from a launch perspective. And I think it's just going to be an important therapy area. It's already a very rapidly growing market in India. And clearly, we have the reach, we have the breadth of experience, we have the depth of experience to be able to capitalize on making sure that this becomes commercially very successful in India.
Okay.
I'd say that the products are important overseas as well. Liraglutide is an important part of the injectables strategy in the US in particular. And we have licenses in place in a couple of markets like South Africa, Philippines for semaglutide, and continuing to work on other opportunities that we have to bring these products to market as market opens next year in a few countries.
Okay. Vinita, how are you reading President Trump's executive order and any impact on generics according to you?
No, I think it's very early to really interpret the impact of the recent order on the brand products, the MFN plus that the order entailed. I mean, it's the pharma is still trying to interpret it and believes that there is it's not clear what the implications will be. For us, I mean, of course, the pricing of brand drugs impacts the pricing of generics overall, so we watch it very carefully. We are looking out for what will likely come down the road on tariffs, which can have a material impact, and have provided our comments as part of the Commerce Department 232 investigations to emphasize the importance of generics in the pharmaceutical industry and drug spend in the US, and the impact of cost increases on tariffs, on inflation, as well as drug shortages. So hopeful that that message is resonating and will not cause material disruptions in the industry.
Are you planning to increase onshore manufacturing in the US?
Yeah, so we were already in an expansion mode in the US, in particular on the respiratory front. We had started to build out our Ellipta and Respimat footprint in the US, in Florida. So that is ongoing, and depending on the incentives the government puts in place and the requirements that it has on essential medicine in the US, we'll certainly consider if it's economically viable to set up additional manufacturing in the US.
Okay. Nilesh, the US FDA is increasing unannounced inspections in the US as well. In India. What is your reading?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, first of all, unannounced inspections is not a new thing in itself. I think there's a guidance for, increased number of inspections itself. And I think our aim very clearly is all-time readiness, right? So, if FDA was to walk in tomorrow, we should be ready. It's not something that you get a pre-scheduled thing. And the days of pre-scheduled inspections have long been over. So I think the goal is all-time readiness and best-in-class compliance, right? So from our perspective, it's both of those goals, not just from FDA, but from any other regulator as well. We field, dozens of inspections, sometimes dozens of inspections each month. Obviously, we have to be ready at all times, and quality has to be built into it. So I think we're very clear about our quality agenda. We want to very clearly be best in class. We had 5 sites which were in an unacceptable state of compliance. We're down to 2. Whenever FDA does come, we want to obviously clear the other 2 sites as well. And I think that'll be a great story. But the game doesn't end there. I think the game there is all-time compliance thereafter.
Okay. And just quickly, Vinita, expectations from President Trump in terms of tariffs on Indian pharma?
Yes, I was mentioning we're watching that very carefully. We are hopeful that the bilateral trade negotiation is going well based on the comments that we've heard in the US. It's hard to predict, though, unless we see something concrete. And we're also engaging with the administration in the US to emphasize the importance of India, emphasize the importance of Lupin, in terms of the products that we supply, essential medicines that we supply, and the willingness to consider additional manufacturing in the U.S., where if we have economic incentives in place to make that happen.
The management there of Lupin in a conversation with Ekta. The stock, though, continues to trade around about 0.7% higher as its result reaction. Take a short break. More on the other side. Stay tuned.